Hey guys, once again we're back with another animal video. Animals. So I'm gonna do a video of cleaning out my two fish tanks that I have today because why not? I like fish. They have fish tanks, they need to be cleaned, so why not do a video on it? I've got a 15-gallon that hosts my betta called Ghost Monkey. He is a platinum half-moon butterfly betta, and he is friends with 2 amano shrimp and a horde of snails in his tank. So we're just going to do a little rundown on how I clean out his tank. It's pretty simple, it's kind of a new tank. Doesn't really take that long whatsoever. So yeah, that's pretty much the first tank. Second video I have is my 30-gallon. Woo! Slightly bigger. But yeah, it's 30 gallons. I totally just lost my train of thought. But as you'll see in this one, I have a current outbreak of cyanobacteria in my tank. I'm not going to lie to you guys, it kind of sucks. Happens in the hobby. I'm not going to try and cover it up from anyone. Like, these things just happen in the hobby. Like, with pets, sometimes it happens. But yeah, no, so basically I have an outbreak of cyanobacteria in the tank. It happens, it's kind of sucky. I think it was from the excess sun, because obviously it's been really sunny here lately, as you can see, like, blinding light. But no, so I'm going to just kind of do a really quick video of cleaning that out, and you will see pretty much how I do it. I mean, you might learn something, you might not. It's pretty simple. It's just suction out water, pour in some more water in, putting in some like liquid CO2. You get to see my fish. I've got 2 crebensis, like 5 platies, a couple of tetras, a clown pleco in my 30-gallon. It's a lot of people say it's understocked, but I personally like it like that. I would rather understock a tank than overstock a tank. You know, I like the concept of giving them room to swim, you know. So that's gonna be my 2 tanks. You're gonna get to see them be cleaned. I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like if you do. But yeah, here we go. Wah! Pa! So here we are with Ghost Monkey's tank, and first things first, we turn the lights off because we don't want the filter or heater or anything on while we're cleaning the tank. And then we grab the sponge and we just start going along, cleaning up all the algae and all the gross stuff that grows on the side of the glass. I'm not trying to be perfect. It doesn't matter if there's a bit of algae left over. Just kind of giving it a general scrub with my trusty sponge. Make sure there's no algae and all the gross bits. And I want to be able to look at them. So I'm making it nice and clean. And yeah, the old leaf is kind of gross, so I'm taking it out, shaking off any snails that we find, because, you know, I don't want any of them to die in my bin. It's kind of harsh. They live in the tank too. And now I'm cleaning out the water. I'm basically just draining it. There's not that much in there debris wise. I'm sucking up some leaves and any gross stuff, but there's not really a lot. I'm just kind of making sure there's not too much plant debris, because if it builds up you can kind of make the water not that healthy if there's too much crap breaking down in one go. So now I'm just draining the water, making sure there's no bits on the leaves, cleaning up my moss. I take pride in how clean my moss is. And that's about it really. Just water. Pretty much spend this time just talking. I don't really take Ghost Monkey out of his tank. He doesn't really get bothered by the water changes. I only do a little bit at a time, purposefully, because I don't want to stress him out with massive changes in pH or temperature or anything. So yeah, he just kind of stays in there. I noticed some more algae, so scrub. As per, I get a little crazy because you get a lot of... Oh, the moss is escaping. It's okay, it's back down. There was some kind of like crap on the top. I think it was like the film, because where the water current's so low, a bit of film builds up on the top sometimes, so I gave that a bit of a wipe too. And now we are topping the tank up. I use a dechlorinator for my water. You really should use a dechlorinator for your water, obviously to get rid of the chlorine. And I just kind of pour it in slowly. I let it get to room temperature, and then I just kind of go crazy. And as you can see, there's lots of like air bubbles and bits just kind of floating around now, but it all settles down. It's mostly just like air bubbles where there's a lot of oxygenated water in there now. Gonna just put the moss back down where it should be. Fixing the little dent I made in the substrate. Ghost Monkey's just chilling. He's... Oh, what are you doing to my house? Just checking everything's alright. And that's pretty much it. And voila! The tank has been cleaned, as you can see. There's a lot of stuff floating around. It's mostly just like air bubbles. But it all settles down pretty quickly. and that's the liquid carbon that I use. I put it in to sort of add the liquid carbon basically for the plants to make sure they get some form of CO2. It's probably not as good as gas form, but it's pretty decent. I add the Indian leaf as well, Indian almond leaf. It helps with the water quality. It's really good for better fish. Kind of makes the water a bit brown, but they like it. It's healthy for them. It's what they'd have in the wild. It helps release tannins, keeps the pH nice and stable. Man, his bubble nest survived. Thought I'd get that footage in there. Yeah, as you can see, there's lots of like bubbles and crap floating around right now, but the tank has been cleaned. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the footage of Moki. He's such a cutie little fish. Okay, now we gotta go to the next tank. Just excuse the clothes and the coats and more clothes and yeah, and it's the other tank! Huzzah! So this is the tank that has the cyanobacteria outbreak. So you're gonna see me try and actually clean a bunch of it off of the glass and kind of just try to scrub it. Like, I try not to go over the top in scrubbing the tank, because at the end of the day I don't want to like kind of mess it, like I don't want to stress the fish out too much if I just sit there scrubbing for hours and hours on end. So I'm basically just kind of going over the glass, rubbing the wood, kind of trying to get the big chunks of it off that I can, because I don't want to use any treatments to get rid of the cyanobacteria or anything. I kind of don't like using treatments on my tank, so I'm just gonna basically my method is manual removal and just changing the water more often, which is pretty much what I've been doing at the moment. And it does seem to be working. Like, the whole tank was basically green about a month ago, so it is very, very slowly going down. But it just, you can see there's like big lumps of it just floating about in the tank now, which is really gross. There's my two little cribs at the bottom, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Hi, guys! Yeah, I don't have a lot of fish in my tank, as you can see, and yeah, see, that's cyanobacteria for you. It's like slime. It just kind of comes off stuff really easily. But it's really gross stuff. It's not a sign of a bad tank. Like, a tank can have pretty much perfect conditions, and this stuff will just appear. It basically occurs when very small changes happen in the tank. Like, it could be because my lights are old, or it could be because it's summer and I'm getting more sun through the windows. It could be temperature changes. Literally anything like that can cause an outbreak of this stuff, and it's really bloody annoying. Ignore all the water stains on the outside of my glass. And it's really annoying stuff to get rid of. Because as you can see, my fish are fine. They're all healthy. They're chilling. So now this point is basically just me trying to suction up all the big lumps of it that I can. Like, as best as I can with the water change. And this is pretty much all I do every single time. I just suction up. Yep, there you can see lots of sludge coming off there. I pretty much just suction up as much as I can each time. Not going like too overboard. You know, it's slow and steady wins the race, in my opinion. Slow and steady. Yeah, you can see it all coming off of the bark, and there's literally crap everywhere in my tank right now because I've just scrubbed all of it off. Get it off my Java fan. Up it goes. Yeah, now you get to see me getting it all off the gravel. But yeah, I don't have many fish in my tanks, and I'm actually pretty fine with that. I like just kind of... I don't really try to trim the plants back much. I did do a lot of pruning actually recently. My crips kind of overtook my tank. You can see all the baby ones at the front. But yeah, no, I basically just let it grow. I kind of like the kind of wild, messy look in the tank. So I don't really mess with the plants too much. I just kind of leave them to it. And if it gets a bit too crowded, then I'll kind of yank them out. Gotta clean the little Mr. and Mrs. Smith cave. But yeah, that was the water change done. I do about 25% each time, give or take. I don't like to do big water changes in one go. I prefer little and often, as I already said. Just because it messes with the pH and the temperature and everything less in your tank, and it keeps it pretty stable. I prefer doing it personally. And yeah, I was kind of a bit more heavy-handed when I poured the water in this tank, simply because I wanted to make sure I kind of uplifted some of the cyanobacteria off the plants that I'd missed. just because it doesn't really like a current at all. And yeah, as you can see, there's still algae on the back of the tank. I don't mind too much. I kind of like a bit of algae in my tank. I don't want the cyanobacteria, but I like the algae. So the thing's still a mess, as you can see. It's a work in progress. There's still algae on the glass. I'm just slowly getting rid of all of the stuff. And yeah, there's some footage of my fish. You got Mr. and Mrs. Smith just kind of chilling. You got my platies. I love Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They're like my prized babies. Next to Ghost Mocky, they're my favourites. And I've got like some really old tetras. I've had those guys for like 4 years now, I think. There's 4 left out of the original like 12 I think I had. So these are like granddaddy tetras, but they're still happy. I got some young platies. But no, I hope you guys really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. And, you know, smash that like button, as they say, if you enjoyed it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!